What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Human League as we move toward the conclusion of Crash 1986. Thank you again to Han Solo for the Human League journey. And I do have 3 additional extended mixes in this folder. I think all of them are extended versions of album songs. But we are up to the penultimate tune on the album proper, and that is The Real Thing, which speaks to authenticity. I suppose there could be some irony or nuanced meaning, but I would expect this to be straight away. And in that regard, it is speaking to the authentic entity or process, not an imitation, not a simulacrum, but the real thing. Of course, what that might mean in an interpersonal narrative remains to be seen. I will try to catch what I can. This is the Human League. The song is The Real Thing, and it's the second to last tune on their 1986 album Crash, though once again this is the 2005 remaster. Section a lot. I was going to do that. I was like one bar early. But okay, number one, is that Oki doing the falsetto style male vocals? Obviously, it's him doing the lead vocal, and then I wonder about that deep, the real thing, the lower end vocal. But I was especially curious if that's him or somebody else doing that falsetto vocal. I do think we hear the ladies in there, but like in a very limited respect. And yeah, like number one, I like all the little bleepy like melodic touches. There was one cascading one going down that was very prominent, but in the first minute or so I noticed like some other little melodic tidbits that were just part of the overall texture. There's those sort of like brass flourishes like in the chorus of the track. So yeah, it sounds very much like what I've come to consider their sort of center lane of sonic stylings, and definitely it's a lighter tune in their catalog, I would say. It sounds, a bit fun, almost like a bit, what's the right word? Not like they're having a laugh, but like, they're just kind of like, they're being like sort of fun and silly is kind of what the feel of this one was. Now, as to the line about love is the real thing, it's interesting because I was thinking like the real thing maybe as distinguished from other similar and like type phenomena, meaning like, this love, this relationship, this is the real thing. There's other relationships, other experiences or relationships that people might call love, but compared to this, they're not genuine, they're not authentic. This is the real thing. But it's like it's going bigger than that. It's like love is the real thing. Now, what is thing then? Like, a purpose for living or the best experience you can have. So like, forget about excitement, forget about entertainment or whatever. Love is the real thing. So it felt like it was on that tier, which is like one scale above what I was thinking about in regard to the title in advance, where I was thinking, there are many things that are similar and there are other maybe imitations or things that are almost on this level, but this one in particular is the real thing. But yeah, as I said, it seemed to be on a different level than that. Either way, it's a fun tune. It's not the most epic in their catalog. It's not the most electronic. But it definitely feels like, again, and I talk about this in a number of deep dives, and obviously this is an overbroad statement, and there are probably examples where, Heaven 17, I just thought of an example right away. Because what I was going to say is it seems like in a lot of synth groups' catalogs, like pop groups' catalogs, that were more electronic, like, electric sounding in the first half of the 80s, a number of them seem to dip into like soul and funk and some of these flavors that come from other like non-electronic genres in the second half of the 80s. And again, I always think of, Duran Duran with like the Notorious album and so on, Eurythmics. But this definitely seems like that. But then I immediately thought, well, like Heaven 17 had a lot of soul-flavored songs, funk-flavored songs, like 83, like before this. So yeah, again, it's the type of statement you could find exceptions to, and ultimately I do think, there's plenty of groups probably that never really dipped their toes too much in that flavoring and, kept going with electronic stylings. But it's a trend that I've noticed over the last few years doing these deep dives, and this one feels like that. It feels like it's electronic, but it's got this kind of soul pop sort of sound to it. I do like the different leveled vocals, very high Oki's lead vocal, which is kind of in the middle range, and then that deep vocal, which, are they all him, or, is there someone else, like, giving some of the male vocals? And as I said, I do think we hear the females in there, but I think they're much more limited on this one. Either way, we have one track left in the album proper, and then as I said, there are 3 extended mixes. Let me put you... Yeah, don't bite my... Yeah, that's on you. You chose to jump up at a very awkward moment. No need to take it out on the, like, meat of my hand. In any case, the 3 bonus tracks we have... Human extended version, okay. Speaking of which, I get random ads and, because I'm always reacting to 80s groups, there's a concert coming up in June. It's like a month, like I think roughly like 2 months from now, because I think it's at the end of June. But it's for Mark Allman, like as Soft Cell, R.I.P. to Dave, Alison Moyet, and Human League, all on the same card. and I saw an ad for it recently, like between YouTube videos, and the ad had Human League performing Human. Like that was like when and Human League, and it showed them performing Human. So yeah, again, it's not a tune that I remember in the same way that I remember Don't You Want Me, for example, going back to my youth. But evidently, that must be one of their biggest hits. And I remember people said that was the case, and they were surprised that I didn't know it better. Nevertheless, I just thought that was interesting that I saw that ad for this upcoming show, and they showed them performing Human in the advertisement. In any case, as I said, there are 3 bonus tunes: Human Extended, I Need Your Loving Extended, and then Love Is All That Matters Extended, which we haven't heard. The last track proper on the album is Love Is All That Matters. So yes, I don't quite know what to expect there because I haven't heard the original, but we will hear that next time, and then we will go through those extended versions. Whew, my mouth is struggling to keep up with my brain, and now you are all tranquil and cute, of course. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.